If I could actually sit face to face with every single person that was about to start a digital products business, I would definitely have some things to say to them. I have mentored thousands of people in the digital products space, and there are a couple of mistakes I see people make again and again and again. These mistakes cost people money, they cost people time, and this is time where your life could be changing, but it's not. So in this video, I'm really hoping to help you avoid these mistakes and tell you what to do instead. If you're new here, my name is Courtney. I am just an average mom of two who completely transformed my life with very simple digital products without a high ticket course, without bugging friends and family, without dancing on tables for reels, just simple digital products that solve real problems for real people. And that's exactly what I help people do. Before I dive in, I would love to invite you into Digital Products Academy. This is my completely free beginners course and community located over on School. We already have almost 9,000 people inside. And truly, this is kind of the hub to my business. This is where I share all of my insider information, daily tips, tricks, all of the things, lots of freebies. There's so much good stuff inside of there. If you're someone who is serious about making money online with digital products, I have the link posted below this video. Come hang out with us in there. So before I get into all of these mistakes, just so you know, I do have a little bit of credibility in this space. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years now. I've made over $650,000, had thousands and thousands and thousands of people purchase my digital products. I have close to 10,000 people inside of my community. This digital products business has literally supported my family for quite a few years now. It's let us buy our dream property, let us travel the country for a full year, and truly has transformed my life in such a real way. And I have also mentored thousands of others, helping them earn a substantial income as well. So I have seen a lot of people do really well with digital products, but I've also seen a lot of people completely fail with digital products. And it usually comes down to some of these mistakes that I'm going to go over in this video. Mistake number one is trying to create the perfect product. This hangs people up. Perfectionism is truly just procrastination in disguise. It's like you're telling yourself you're working on the product, you're working your business, all of these things, but it's like weeks, months down the line, and you're still just working on this product. That is not how you build a successful business. Instead of overthinking, instead of procrastinating, instead of trying to be perfect, which you're never going to be, understand that your first digital product is, first of all, probably going to suck compared to the one you create a year from now. But the whole point of your first product is to teach you something. It's to prove to yourself that you can actually create a product and launch it and get it out there, and that it's not really that hard. Your first digital product is probably not going to make you rich. It just needs to get you going in the right direction. You can make more products. You need to get something out there and start getting yourself out there. Number two is a little bit of a tricky one. Number two is creating a product that nobody wants. And this one's a little bit tricky because I see a lot of people create products that they think are really cool, but products that are really cool don't necessarily make a lot of money. Products that solve a really specific problem for people, even if they're pretty boring, are the ones that make good money. So when you're trying to come up with your product idea, you really need to think about, what are people actually struggling with in my niche, right? Not necessarily what you think would be cool. So especially when you're thinking about your first digital product, I always suggest figuring out, of course, your niche, the category of people that you're trying to help, and then think about that total beginner in that space. What is the very first problem that they're going to be facing? That is really what you should create your first product around. Mistake number three. This is the biggest one, I believe. Thinking that creating the digital product is going to be the hardest part. It is truly not that difficult to create a digital product. It's actually unbelievable how simple it can be to create a digital product, especially with how fast AI is moving. I could probably create an entire working app in 20 minutes. And that is a more complicated digital product. I could definitely create an ebook in a shorter period of time, right? A lot of people, when they're new to their business, they think that once they have a product, they're going to be good to go. And they're just going to have sales rolling in and everything's going to be easy peasy. And the hardest part is going to be creating that product. It could not be further from the truth. There are so many people who have great products and never learned how to market. They don't make any money. The opposite is also true. Some people are really good at marketing. Their products kind of suck, but they make a ton of money. Marketing is really the area that will make or break you in your business. Which is why, again and again and again, I've said, do not spend a ton of time and energy on your very first digital product. You need to create a simple digital product, and you need to start figuring out how you're going to sell it and how you're going to create a group of people that are coming to you in your niche. Once you have that group, that following, and it's not necessarily about a follower count, you just need a space where you have contact with your ideal audience. That's really what it's about. Once you have that, you can sell anything. Mistake number 4. I see this one literally all of the time, constantly starting over. So many people will spend a bunch of time creating a product. They'll spend a little bit of time trying to market that product, be like, oh, this isn't working. This product's this niche must not be good. But the reality of it is they only actually made 10 reels and then decided to give up. And then they totally start over. A new niche, a new account, new product, everything. They go back to square one. They start again with spending weeks, maybe months building out a new product, a new niche, new everything. And then the same thing happens. They're just not marketing for nearly long enough. And of course, they don't gain traction right away. So they think the problem was the product or the niche or whatever. But really, it's just that they're not being consistent enough. They're not trying for long enough. Mistake number 5 is going to be waiting for some huge audience. So I've also seen the opposite to be true. So I have seen a lot of people who are like, I'm going to try to grow my account to 10,000 people before I even make a product. This is another massive mistake because followers do not equal dollars. You can have a small following and make a substantial income. Actually, for me, I still don't have 10,000 followers over on Instagram, which is primarily where I built my business. And I got to be really honest with you. At the beginning of my business, I was making a substantial income with a really small follower account. I made my first sale with just a couple hundred followers. I made my first $10,000 with probably 1,500 followers. I literally made my first 6 figures on Instagram with maybe 2,500 followers. That is not a lot. So I am definitely not saying you need to have some big account to make good money. And I've seen people have this mindset of they need to have a big following first before they introduce any type of digital product. And I personally think it has the opposite effect because when you're just chasing followers, you really don't know if those are going to be people that are going to purchase from you anyways. So you could have 100,000 followers, and I've seen this, accounts with 100,000 followers who they're not making any money because they haven't really figured out the back end of actually monetizing. So it's really good to do both at the same time, right? You want to figure out the front end and the back end together simultaneously. Mistake number 6 is not building an email list. This is kind of a catch-22 because your email list as a beginner is really not going to make you any money at the beginning. However, it's so important to start growing that list at the beginning so that eventually it does start making you money. The other thing is it's just so easy to start building an email list. All you have to do is create some type of freebie or lead magnet, very simple, and give people that for free in exchange for their email address. You don't need to spam people. You don't need to do anything crazy. You just need to have that small system put into place and start collecting emails. One day you're going to use them and it could substantially increase the amount of money that you make from your business. Mistake number 7 is thinking that you need to have a ton of products. So I see this one really, really often, and it really is a bummer because sometimes I will be doing audits on other people's businesses and I go to their storefront and it literally looks like a Walmart or something. You know what I mean? It's just so many things. It's like every single thing they've ever purchased to get better at what they're doing, they also have it in their storefront. That's a big no. A confused mind never buys. Remember this. You can like products and not be selling them. You need to make sure that you have a specific and easy to understand customer flow for your ideal audience to kind of go through. More products is not going to necessarily make you more money. Having really good customer flow and then strong marketing, getting more and more people into that is what is going to make you money. I would say that having a ton of products is actually going to hurt you in the long run. Mistake number 8, and I see this one quite literally all the time, is comparing yourself to established creators. This is a big one. And this is why I actually suggest not following a ton of people in your niche. And I know that's a little bit controversial. I believe it does a lot more negative stuff to your mentality than anything positive that it could bring. So many people compare their day 1 to somebody else's day 2000 and wonder, why are they having these results and I'm not? Well, you're just not there yet. You haven't put the reps in yet. You have not done what they have done. And that's not to say that you can never get there. you're just not there right now. So I think so many people see creators that are doing really well and it makes them feel bad about themselves. But really, you need to take that as proof that you can also get there. Mistake number 9. And this is a really good one because I see so many people getting stuck in this area, and that is spending way too much time learning. You need to learn. There's some stuff you need to learn. You need to understand what digital products are, of course, how to create content, how to market, how to do certain things. However, you're going to learn a lot more from action than you ever will from just trying to learn, right? So I think there's a fine line, of course. Step-by-step direction is incredible. And of course, it's something that I offer. But there comes a point in time when you need to just do the thing and then learn from your results, get better. I truly think this is another area that's kind of procrastination in disguise. And people get kind of stuck in this ongoing learning forever and feeling like once I learn all of these crazy things, then I'm going to be able to take action. And I just think that's people holding themselves back. So if that's you, snap out of it. Take the first action step. Mistake number 10, and this is the last one here, and it's so important. If you've gotten through all of these so far, this is the most important one. Quitting too soon. So many people do all of this work to create their storefront, get a content strategy, figure out how to do content, create their whole product, do all of these things, and they give up. They just give up. It's so wild to me that as a society, we are willing to spend so many years in college and trainings, and we invest so much into, let's just talk about college. This is a little bit of a sidebar here, but people literally go into tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt and spend 4 to 6 plus years in school for a potential to get a job that will basically barely cover their bills. But yet, they are not willing to spend even 1 year really trying to build something for themselves that could pay them substantially more than they could ever make from a job. People will literally just give up. It is insane to me. You should be betting on yourself. If you are betting and investing time into working for a company, doing any of these other things, put some of that energy into you and give it your all. Even if it's a little bit every single day, that adds up. Do not quit. Oftentimes, it takes some time to really understand the marketing side of things, to actually try different things, try different ways of marketing, try different forms of content, learn what is your vibe, what are you going to be good at. I think to really be successful with any type of digital business, you have to be willing to be kind of crappy at first and know that you're just going to get better. But if you're not willing to go through that gray area of being bad at something and actively learning and getting better, then it's not going to work out for you. Don't quit before you start seeing those results, because I promise you, it is going to be so worth it. And even if it takes you a couple of years to start seeing those results, wouldn't it still be worth it? Even if it took you 5 years to start making $5,000 a month or whatever your goal is, wouldn't it still be worth it? Those 5 years, they're going to pass anyways. Won't you still have those goals in 5 years, or do your dreams just not really matter anymore? Those are the things that I want you to think about before quitting. So many digital product creators fail because of one of these 10 mistakes, or maybe a collection of all of them. Do not let it be you. If you want more help with your digital products business, from starting to scaling and everything in between, please click the link below and join Digital Products Academy. This is where I give constant and daily value for free. Let me know what you think of this video, and I cannot wait to see you inside of my school community.